All right, welcome back to another video, and today I want to take a look at the S.H.Figuarts Turles from the Tree of Might from Dragon Ball Z. Now, this guy here, if you guys have not seen the movie The Tree of Might, definitely look it up on YouTube, or you could probably download it somewhere, stream it. You definitely can probably pick it up, at a FYE somewhere if you have one where you are. But anyway, it's a great movie. It's not canon to the story, but it will always be canon to me, because back when I was watching Dragon Ball Z and everything, back in the 90s when this movie actually came out, yeah man, I mean, it goes hand in hand. Now, Turles came to Earth and he planted the seeds of the Tree of Might, okay, to bear the dragon fruit. And that dragon fruit was the fruit that Shenron would eat. At least that's how the story goes. So Goku confronted him. But as you can see, Turles looks a lot like Goku. So somewhere along the line, I think there's a manga out there that mentions if he's related to Goku somehow, maybe uncle, brother, cousin, whatever. But they did say that he was not related to Goku, but yet in the manga it states that he was related to Goku. Half of this, half of the other, it doesn't make a difference. It's actually your choice on what you want. But all I know is that in the Tree of Might, they don't mention any of that. Turles comes down to Earth with his squad and starts kicking up some static, and Goku and the Z Warriors have to turn around and handle their business. So definitely, if you get a chance, watch the movie. It's actually pretty cool. So listen, this guy comes with a few accessories. Now, my question is to you guys, is he worth the price that they're putting him up as on BBTS or any other store that you buy him at? Maybe be brick and mortar or whatever the case. He's an expensive piece. Now, I don't know if they're only doing so many runs of him and then they're going to stop, but from what I have here, and he's a great figure, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't say that he wasn't, but is he worth the price that I paid for him? I think he's a little pricey. I think that they could have done a little bit better with the price, but that's just my opinion. So we'll get into taking a look at the pros and cons of this guy here in a minute. The other thing I want to point out is his name is Turles. Now, I had this conversation with my wife, because I was like, was I mispronouncing his name all these years? Because I was always calling him Turles. No, I wasn't wrong. I just don't understand why his name is written like this on the box. There's no R in there, but everything that I have looked up, of course, it says Turles on it. He has an R in the name, which, whatever. Anyway, let's get into taking a look at the accessories that this guy comes with, because he comes with a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to try to go through them as quick as I possibly can, and then we will move on to taking a look at Turles himself. All right, so here we have the many faces of Turles. One where he has his tongue out because he's getting ready to eat the fruit. Another one where he's screaming face. Another one of his grrr looking face. He has his arms crossed gimmick, so you actually have to pull, whoops, you actually have to pull his arms off at the bicep area to meet the shoulder, and then you plug these in and he has his arms crossed. So that's cool, but we have seen this gimmick before in others. Next, we have an alternate hand that actually holds the dragon fruit. And here are the many hands of Turles along with his blast effects. Now, the two hands down here at the bottom, those are to hold this blast effect. Then you have kind of a clenching palm and then open palms for, doing a blast or catching a fist or whatever the case it may be. All right, so I know that was kind of short and sweet with the actual accessories that he comes with, but you know what? He comes with a lot of stuff, so I figured I'd just kind of consolidate everything. All right, so now let's get into talking about Turles himself. Now, this is a figure that I've been waiting for them to come out with for a long time. Do I feel that I overpaid for the figure? Slightly, just a little bit. I mean, $114 is plus a 20, so I mean another $14 or something like that you had to put down on the figure before you could get the figure. It came out to like $126, $129 for the figure, and I don't see what we're getting different in the mechanics of the figure. So this is where I'm at. So anyway, he comes with this cape on here, right? And it's a soft plastic. It's all white. All right, so let's get this off. So you just grab his head, pop it off, and you gotta be careful because this shoulder piece is in there. So when you maneuver it, you gotta kind of maneuver it. There you go, slide it out. All right, so now that you have Piccolo's cape off, take his head and then just pop it back on. Now, I mean, yeah, I mean, look, the figure is beautiful. Don't get me wrong when I say love the smirking face, which we've seen in Goku 1,000 times. His hair is almost the same look as Goku's, except for there's just a little bit more detail in it. So, I mean, are we paying the extra price for the detail? I love the scouter. The scouter comes off and goes on to each and every one of the different face sculpts that you put on. The armor is great. The only thing I see is that this here rolls back instead of folding up. All the other armor that I have had from the past, their armor did not roll back like that. It actually had a hinge just like this did, and it would flip up to get out of the way of the arm movement, or the arm articulation, I should say. So you move this so you can move the arm. So if I move the arm out like that, okay, I guess you're gonna have to cover it like that. I get it, but it is on kind of a ball peg back here, or a swivel peg, whatever you want to say. He does have butterfly joints in there, which is nice to get that extra movement on the inside. So, I mean, really, $129 or 20, whatever it was, for this figure. I mean, I think it's just too pricey in my perspective. But is he a gorgeous figure? Yes. All the way down to the paint on the boots, the abs, the back, everything looks good. All right, so let's try and pose him out. So, you know, you guys know this is like my this is like my weak point on this figure when it comes to actually any figure really, when it comes to actually posing them out. So let's just start with a simple, and I mean simple, boxing pose, right? Get your hands up there. Let's get these knees bent a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. Now this is what I'm talking about. Like, see, I moved his shoulders. These kind of move a little bit. So I mean, granted, it's kind of a little bit of a tedious thing, but it's just the fact that where everything kind of just flows out of the way when you move his legs and stuff, they don't work when it comes to the shoulder part. That's my whole thing. So putting him in like a little bit of a boxing pose now. I know he's a little. He is a little stiff looking. He's not, you know, he doesn't flow as nice as for the money that I think they should. I mean, does he pose out? Yeah, he poses out. I mean, granted, to get his hands completely up where they should be, you got to really roll these out of the way. Here we go. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a martial artist in life, and your hands should never be down here. Now, I know you can. Maybe it makes it look cooler. I don't know. But even if you left this hand down like this a little bit, right? You are going to make sure that you're keeping your hands up so you don't get punched in the face, right? Let's take another look. So if you're holding your hands here, like you should, okay, even on this side, you should always keep your hands up, even if you're doing a kick, right? So even if you're kicking, and I know a lot of people like to put their hands out like this, but in all reality, you should never be doing a kick, okay? Like a side kick like this. If you ever throw a side kick, and get them balanced out, like this, with your hands down and out like that, that's That's ridiculous. You're not covering yourself, because the point of the matter is if your hands are here, okay, and I know you guys think it's like it might be like an off balance for the person. It's not. You train yourself to hold yourself, right, and do these type of kicks. And even with the ankle articulation, I can't get enough to get that. Okay, there it goes. That knife edge on there. So, you know, what I'm trying to say is that you want to keep your hands up, because you throw a side kick like this, when you go to step down, see where your hands are? You're protected. So if that other person throws something, you can protect yourself in any way. Plus, if you step down like this, you can always catch a target, spin it around, okay, and come around with a spin kick. I know that's low, but you come around with a spin kick to get, but that's the articulation. I can't get his leg up that high. So as I'm trying to pose this guy out, like I said, I'm pretty horrible at doing it. Look, even if I were to put him in a stance like this, right, kind of off looking to the side, with the hand kind of low. So, you know, I just, to me, he's stiff. I mean, he's gonna be posed on my shelf only a certain way, but the posability is, to me, is limited. So that's why I want to go over it. It's not like that Venom I reviewed where he just falls right into place. They did a beautiful job. Now, if they gave him that kind of articulation here, as they did that Venom, then I would say, yeah, that would be beautiful. But look, anyway, let's go over his articulation real quick. Okay, his head can move down that far, which is really, really nice. His head can look up that far, and it can look side to side, moving the shoulder pad out of the way. And yes, his hair does get in the way a little bit, but not enough to stop him from getting this pose. Now, that's not too bad. I can live with that, but I don't understand the price point of it. And that's my whole point of the review. Take a look at the figure and to see if he's actually worth the price of admission, what you have. So I know I've kind of rambled a little bit and kind of ran everything a little bit together. I'm trying to do this uncut. His foot can go out that far forward. It can move back just that far, which is kind of ridiculous. So you have to make up for it for moving him forward like that. When it comes to his ab crunch, he really, you know, he has some, and I've seen better and more in some S.H.Figuarts figures, but he can go back that far. He can move back or forward this far. So, you know, he should be holding himself right about there when it comes to the armor, so you can see this ab piece right here. His tail's articulated. It plugs actually right into the back with a peg right there, so you can move that to get that out of the way, and that's okay. And then, you know, you have the flaps on the actual armor. He has a bicep swivel, which mine's really tight. Double jointed arms, which gets you that nice angle right there of 90 degrees. And then he has a a wrist swivel and wrist bend, which is nice. And then you have double jointed knees, which get you that far. So you want to do a nice knee kick to somebody, you know, say he had somebody that he was grabbing, and of course you wouldn't have fists, but that's gonna be his knee kick right there. Like, he's literally gonna have to pull them in to get a knee kick in. And you know, you turn it like this, that makes no sense, right? Because you're not knee kicking at that point. Right there is the knee kick. So I'm just saying, for the price point that you have of $129 or $130, let's just say, yeah, I think he should have a lot more points of articulation on it. Sculpt wise, he's gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but we have seen a lot of other figures to where they're only, you know, $40-$50 in this S.H.Figuarts, and they have better articulation than Turles here does. But that's just, you know, this is just my opinion. I do think he's a great figure. I just think that he's overpriced, and that's just my opinion. Moving down to, oh, I forgot, he has the upper thigh swivel here, and he does have ankle tilt, and he has a toe hinge as well. And his toe can move, his foot can move back this far, and it can move forward that far because everything else hinders it when it comes to these boots that he has on. Now, the other thing that I did forget to mention is that he can do the splits pretty good, but it's this here, the way this is made, that hinders some of the joints that he has when it comes to doing some of the poses. Anyway, guys, I've rambled on enough about this figure. Yeah, so is he worth the price of admission? You know, I could take off all the heads and stuff like that, and I'll, you know, I'll do something a little separate maybe with the because this video is getting kind of long and you guys are probably bored by now. But what I'll do is I'll probably do a little bit of something separate, put it on the shorts with him posing. But I just want to compare him real quick. Since we're here, I want to compare Turles to the Fighting Armor Black Panther, which if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. And you can see he towers over Turles. And then we have Goku. And they're about the same height, him and Goku are. I know I don't really have Goku standing appropriately. Hold on a second. All right, hold on. I'm doing it off camera a little bit, just trying to get him fixed up. All right, so there's Goku standing next to Turles. They're almost the same height. As you can see, they have pretty much the same hair, except for he doesn't have all the detail that Turles has in it. Turles, I mean, look at his thighs are just massive muscle, which they always were, even in the movie. You know, I'm just not seeing the difference in the price point. The only thing I don't see is that he doesn't have this little piece here where that drops in. But even with Goku here, this Goku here was $35, and I know a lot of people didn't like him that much, and his ab crunch isn't that great either. And I'm not turning this into a Goku thing, but look, I can get him to kick, I can get him to move. I can get him to move like this. Split wise, he's not really doing the splits too well. Okay, and I understand that, but he just moves, I mean, just so much nicer to do, you know, to get him to pose out, right? I mean, except for this ab crunch, you're not getting, so I guess, you know, $35 or whatever, you're not, but still, I can get his legs to move. He's not hindered, that's what I'm trying to say. He's not as hindered as Turles is. Look, if I'm doing a knee kick with Goku, I can get that knee up there. So that's just my point with that. But anyway, I digress when it comes to taking a look at this guy. I think for the price point that it is, did we get a beautiful sculpt? Yes. Did we get a great figure? We got a good figure. We got an awesome figure. Don't get me wrong. I think he's awesome. But do I think that he's overpriced for the money? I could see him being $80, you know, maybe $75, somewhere around there. Like this Goku was only $30. So, I mean, and he has his faults too, don't get me wrong. But I am able to get him to do a few things that I can't do with Turles. And that doesn't anger me or bother me. It's just a simple fact that I think that we could do better. For $130, you could get a whole lot better. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry for making this so long. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed this review. Like I said, it's pretty much, is he worth the price of admission for this figure? Sculpt wise, accessory wise, it's just like any other S.H.Figuarts figure. When it comes down to these Dragon Ball Z figures, they come with a plethora of stuff. So it's not like they threw something new in there. If they had thrown in maybe some more articulation points in there to where you could get him some real dynamic poses and get this guy doing some groovy stuff, then I could say, yeah, he's definitely worth the price. This guy was worth the price of money. He was like $118. He's worth it. He poses nicely. I can get him into poses. If you haven't seen the video, go check it out. Or not, whichever you choose. Either way is fine. But he's worth the price of admission. This guy here, I'd say he should have been around maybe $75 to $80 price point, not $130. But that's just my opinion anyway, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment down below, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on anything new. And guys, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Even the newcomers that have come in that are liking what I'm putting up, thank you so much for showing the love to this channel, and I will catch you all on the flippity flip.